this particular issue. I think you back and forth between the ministry and nurses and the backlog I think my use opportunity na me commend the Minister for Health or more team through where or making arrangement to pay these your friend say nurses now
about outstanding.
Yes, and I think it's a good move over there, and I think despite pressure now at the amount for the man or no, the young man is really doing a good job. But you see, Ghana, no, we are very reactionary people. Adiaba, yenya eye penny ye fi. Jebi, me better catch us say that particular Presidential Transition Act, no, we need to amend that provision and make sure say an outgoing president will not have the power to be putting people into the system.
Yes.
Especially handing over. That period they created this pool of individuals and Abaya boss Messi so. Because one of Safumafo did a press conference when MPP took over. Ka say NDC then appear nipa gumno. In the spirit of good governance, you don't come and repeat the same thing. Nurses alone, over 13,000 people were pushed within that period. So you see, politics with diligence. We don't have good conscience. So media say, let us amend the Transition Act and create a freeze period. And making sure say within a particular period, either the two governments will work together or we don't allow your friend saying any backlog beer and now so making sure that you don't own that person arrears or far now within transition period there should not be any arrears. Other government will come and inherit. See to me yes I'm sure we will find a headway. Some of these back and forth na ababe we no. I think that's better because we must begin to grow as a country. It's not all the time that issues no ba na ya keka ho nsema na ya repeat at the end of the day nothing happens again. See yentimi anya sa de na ya move on as a country from this near usua bibia mfirima. In the next 4 years we will come back here and have same conversation and nothing will change. And again last one your friend said maths and English or what kind of say quiz no more
maths and science.
Yes. But who say your friend said the Ministry of Health said we make budgetary allocation 9 point something say science and maths quiz bebaso. Let me be someone said it's not even supposed to be a government responsibility to be giving money for that. This is something that has been running for 32 good years. So are we saying that we can't set up a board that will go and look for money and make sure that we run that particular thing independently? Because sir, America got talent, British got talent. You'll be a got talent, you'll be a registered company, and even the TV rights alone generate a lot of money. Sir, your friend say mass and science quiz, can't we just create idea and run it? Now making sure that even the TV right alone will be sold to a particular TV station like Oduya, Monkwana more the TV right to show it, and then you go out and look for sponsors. Must it always be that buying this? We can't even think outside the box and answer saying because other private way to me run it. Multi idea more run no. If your friend saying is it? My way I'm here.
Yeah, Juma my friend Nasifo.
No. You do back.
Ghana's most beautiful.
Ghana's most beautiful. This is a private entity or multi-how, but you are able to run this particular thing every year, get sponsorship and Nasifo. Why can't government get the same thing? So I think we need to begin to think outside the box. Not always abayin sika maya. Then you science and maths. You've been running the thing for 32 good years. Plan B na making.
But I say, Baba, me quick birthday be we had no so but Lucia, so quick comment.
Quick one.
Within 2 minutes.
2 minutes, me say our friend say minister no care say lady na oka obese say they should temper justice with mercy. I think say the nipa beya ni minister no aye no. You see sometimes no obu ho a hungry man is an angry man. Lady no if you were to be in her shoes you understand. I think say ade ba ko a lady na ntimi anye using the emotional intelligence. What I say at least come do there na mum say utimi guided in some of the things that you do. What I say go obi okay say the national service our year for the whole 1 year and pianica was saying about start adwuma me onya offenses ka. I'm not justifying or in any way trying to justify what she did, but sometimes it's also a caution to yana yaka no
okay
say obia na obeye because after sad picketing who say lady bi a onu no mum enso complaining say ne rent crash a wontum tua amanfo eh de ekọ no emwa enti etese na be ka say o friend say odi ahina akunsu what you say either say odi nsuo no ne ahina beba ana say obeba nsapan enti lady no call odi ahina akunsu beto oba no amfa hwe amba beto
na menka say these are some of the topical issues that are taking over the space Ghana for Obia Kanwasem. My culture said if we'll be able to advance as a country, we need to make corruption a graft a high risk venture. Nipa daseni akoma no so obekwa and before elections, you know, Ghana for the mainly was driven by the passion to get the criminals who have stolen from this country prosecuted.
Sure.
And until now, when President Mahama took over and people were not seeing any action, you could see that sort of, you know, war on the side of the people. But Makacha said the wheels of justice are grinding slowly. Here we are once again. One of the most topical issues has finally come to the table. The Attorney General today is ready. The persons involved have been formally charged and the court proceeding is beginning. And I think that we are Ghana near is a sign of relief because Makacha said say a punish people who commit crime of this magnitude, and people hide behind political power, political influence, the kind of affiliation alliances and the kind of political prominence on the rise to capitalize on that particular influence. Now because over the years it's a nema and Ghana ni be not expect to say the John Mahama government will be very brutal front and not taking up some of these issues, you know. Now Ghana, that particular Ghana, you know, can take a sign of relief and now the show is about to begin. And when you walk into some of these criminal engagement activities of these individuals, you repose who state authority, power and resources into them. I had a trust, no confidence, a tire chile say, you the 2 miamao. Ko abansika kudi abanyanim. Na ye neema ne nhyehyɛ ye betimi aboa ma the average ordinary people na amanfo omuni hope benya hope neema beko ya ma oman no yetimi akoya nim no. These people turn enterprise of government into a cesspool of some kind of a shitty way omono use to advance personal, you know, neema ombenya. And it's a what's na Kroma had a track record that by way at some point in time Nam Kroma throwing herself around and a quarter football team. Now I'm 40 radio TV. So now where the monies were coming from, people were not even your friends are checking in as a form. Here we are and crank to a move free university bar, ya post you more national service. Or music ya the moment over the years. People are complaining. Because so we are NSS personnel, we bet me behind down wa crap and a problem because we behind them catch us 1 year, 2 years, but the person is doing 1 year national service. And the 1 year na can na better man and papa na better. But the system will force you to go and rent a room for 2 good years. Na nipa no go through all the struggles ni we are. But some is one sika obenya 700 Ghana cedis. For 2 people to sit at the office. And still 653 million, no, national service personnel, no, Sikana de Momono could have been doubled a bit to ya. But James Sikana, the monies involved in this particular case, you know, your friend is saying, why only Sikana no, now 53 million Ghana cedis. That is what was trumpeted in this particular country. But Sika, 600 million plus the Wyoming cash. 600 million plus the Wyoming cash. And I can't want them. Nipa mienu and the tenacia, they orchestrated this particular heinous crime against this particular state. And to obiti baby na wadwene so aban na asesa and people are witch hunting and asefo. This is what Ghanaians voted for. Ghanaians voted for John Mahama to do some of these things, take some of the toughest decisions just to ensure that we punish crime. Say be betimi I deter people say governance no any avenue to make money or an enterprise where you come and foolishly amass wealth for yourself. And then look at the way a man at this particular crime well orchestrated. I told you, sir,
60,000 non-existent national service personnel, resulting to a loss of 500 million plus.
And Maka said there is no smart person obey you establish systems and institutions or chrono. Nipo be yes be nyansa because chrono I go through bank transaction, I go through transfer, I go through e-switch and as for there is no way you can cover your back because system no you're builder here always it will give you up add the signature, the back trace, everything is there. And it's a we nyansania who use bank and who use any other system about me I say me chrono no be and then look at how these people stole the money. 60,000 people are among your national service and a yes so moving ghost names in your peer good system and a year pay binum double. A dinner 60,000 uncle date of birth for more year a beer the 1 year nipa 1,000 at the 1 year among your national service
1 year
under 1 year. Yeah, national service now we will be a winning senia. Oh, book on Quasiacron, no way, you won't tell my same wife. Yet me call internet. Now, you quasi man for pictures, a bit free Kenya, a bit free Burkina Faso. Now, you see, when you need dinner, way internet, and they're shas here.
You the 60 years.
Yeah, don't want national service, you now you to your mocha. Because they're able to transfer all the money into a single e-switch account. And I say you too big, but it's coming to the same person. And the very people who are supposed to live life for better me inspire my young people out there, no, and now call national service. The young people who go to various offices, no, they don't even train them on the job. You koto credit breme, koto koko breme, that foolish errands, no, so you do your national service and come home without even having a single experience, because to them you are just an errand boy. Yes, small, I'm on for more use, no more use, and the benefit. Because panini not to order near, so making sure say and crani betime train your momo monya savvy. And see who be a benya experience, no, or no, he's busy out there stealing and robbing the state. Why are you busy? And this is the reason why Amaka said we need to make corruption a high risk venture. So for me, I think that this prosecution, I'm yet to see anybody who will come and cry for say political witch hunting. The money's involved, no. I bet me almost a particular region. But 53 million Ghana cedis and I can want some. Sasika the bag him the swat, Nipa was studio, Yentimina, baby. How can two individuals sit there and orchestrate such a crime? And it's not justice. JB, there are several of such cases. Yet sorry, trainer nam from ye nibi, a sequabrane say or cofa trainer, a sky, a wiem. Now more damn trainer nam from Winnibi, also quiet trainer nam wiem, and who seek 2 million. And that's here, your friends say young who wants them in there. So I think that these are the harsh realities. As a yakam was a magana for who say politics and now good year. We must begin to let people bear responsibility for their own action, for their own crimes. Say to me and so like some of these issues are and I cover the problems I yet. So Attorney General in the team, let me commend them. Because over the years, Ghana for bashi or more. Some of these things and I near my Ghana for person. So we need to move on and ensure that every single act of corruption be a cause to be the cases must be line up. Now, young resources, the AG's department, making sure say all the resources that are needed just to ensure say you bet me yes I deal with I bet me as determined because whenever you are dealing with the black race, you are very dangerous people. We are very greedy and very selfish. And this one to me I established the conventional red lines. Amanan to woman and we say me bokro a whole consequences in there. Man will always do the unthinkable, and that is the reason why we must begin to make corruption a high risk venture. Them people in the present government, who also you take caution. So the same future awaits you because so what by crime punish you, another person will come and also punish you.
Innocent. So the issue is, yes, 600,000 non-existing national service personnel.
Yes.
That is the national service boss Nankasa.
Yes.
And I give to one so area 10,000. On the year, alleged 9,934.
Yes.
What need Nabuma is approximately like 70,000.
Yes.
But over the months, it's 80,000 ghost names. So where is the remaining 10,000 ghost names? When are you responsible for the 10,000 ghost names?
Sir, it's an ongoing digging away. So I think the investigations now is what is unraveling all these things. I give us a closure because you can't go to court and be speculating. You need to go with absolute figures and numbers backed with evidence, payment, transaction, everything be back. So I think that the investigation and I bring it to bear the other related issues. So I think that the court will have to examine all the critical facts, the evidence. Who say they bear some sort of an evidential value above, reproach and as for to be standing the test of prosecution in court. Because you see, one funny aspect, very often some of these cases, will travel in the court for years. At the end of the day, there is no closure. Ghanaians are watching because you see, the few, my catches are Ghana, the sustenance of our democracy hinge on this particular John Mahama government. Because you see, when Akufo-Addo was in power, people lost every trust in democracy. That is why over the years people were preaching coup d'etat. So people want to see what John Mahama will do differently. I bet me Ghana for once again and hope and your friends said that kind of way our democracy. So now doing some of these things by making sure say people move here because these monies were meant for other stuff. Do you know the number of people who died because the state didn't have money and how to take money from pensioners? Do not stroke that them. Now no matter say Akufo-Addo number say the darkest decision their friend saying but the DEP was a deliberate orchestration out of certain foolish decisions some individual decided to take. Because as the end of the day, some of us were deemed anti-government some kind of way. People, he was even calling people sambalat and the same president too. So it's not as if it was a mistake. It was a deliberate orchestration. When Onwan Kasa the Wafa say and what Jana Quatra baby, Onwan Kasa Kura Yawu, finance minister, he's unable to come back. That is what he did. So these are near mercy, ama manfo ebino mabaye janka ebia lusu ne papa ebino lusu moja padie. These are the harsh realities. And we must begin to make sure say corruption becomes a high risk venture. Motivate you obia. Na make kwa China, you say agric minister disika. I'm not sentencing it to death. I am not saying say sentence will be to death, but you see, JB, this particular money, the existing legal system now, a criminal system now, will make it possible for us to jail these people and retrieve our money. Because we cannot just put them in jail and make sure that 600 and something million goes scot free. But this time the sure we're there. So wherever the money went, because there were people who were doing transfer. We $10,000 for command. That is what they were doing, transferring some of the money through bank and through back door. Among for ABBC for them no more Pakisikagum, Sicily and Apa, Aberewa no Timisasa over millions of pounds. And you good them na and crama you and Jessica Ukroma. So these are cases I'm expecting the Attorney General to go there. Aberewa oncha pound, aberewa oncha dollar. Now ultimately a chichi sika on the dukum nem passing and as a forum. We need to know where those monies are coming from because Donald Trump American president, Uko be receive mawunya sikana yenyano sila da pade muno. So what are we doing? You understand? For me, these people were able to take advantage of the system because system not creating enough incentive and motivation for people to commit this kind of political plunder, and they get away with it. We must begin to make corruption a high risk venture and send a message to somebody out there. And Ghana for also, let us Assemba, it is not about Nipani NDC or MPP ni. Let us tackle the person. Abraba waboni sika wafa. When we begin to politicize some of these things, now I went to a particular program now, man, for say, to me, political witch hunting. Even to ask that particular question is absolute nonsense because who doesn't know Nema Brante where do Kroma say? It must even ask that particular question. See, you begin to color these things with political, sentiment, some kind of affiliation. We will lose sight on the core issues. So for me, I think that I commend the government, and it's not just this. We need to go ahead and make sure say every single give to worry. National say scholarship secretariat, the same person in Jesus another chrono and there are several other criminal
so the okoko GBB na demand.
Documents na be one kind.
Scholarship.
Documents tie na make say the involvement in some of these things, you know, endorse because influence are not one. Influence peddling, and as for you don't think those things are crime, then as for kind of us or secure those things for herself. And you see, we need to do proper investigation and establish the ground rules and make sure say going forward, you know, crime is punished. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you are president, deputy president, minister, whoever. You're punishing, you're setting the basic rules now. I think some man will sit up and begin to do things differently.
But I call this so, but before so me call my main car say the local residents and commercial drivers of Sumenya Pon Road, a kind of so. Or Martin Tesuko ko de chira ban adan mo kwan enye nti sa na kasaska we ke betumi de bia be 1/3 mpo e de akoko go so but akodi kwabra ne bottom e na mrante ye demonstration mnyama minti o
mnyama dase I think say na me manu gusu a me ba be kan no e ye se empempi ye bodaru se ye ma ema kwan na benu so no bintumi nyame aduma chede a ode amabe no ben so bebetumi aiden ayusu say o hwe last week yi offense law school lady Latifa Fuseni
yes ABA Fuseni
bano
yeah
obenya the overall best student no ahu say ye ma kwan a megidie say bebetumi aye enso aye krabro emema ne emema bi mu eye so enti no se ye bosa daru na ye guso champion for the affirmative action bill se ye be pass e wo parliament no na ebi mo nso ena ma akiri eye nsemhunu bi se ya ebasa ha adwen because o hwe sa ayi lady yasem ya ye kan ya utim se osi ni bo ankasa se obebo oman no kro no hwe unse eye somewhere June ho no ne attorney general be kan se on pesa obe rashe na why prosecution entino oguso eje information sanya be ya se o prosecutor onimne why oye enhwehwemu be da say time a be hu say about 189 million bi afa bimun sato anase ayawo NSS honum no home of be start say be investigation na investigation no mu no ni bebe hu say about nipa be 22 bon wa asem no out of the 22 no ne ba nkasa be sha ase say ebi mu ko attorney general office sha ase say bebe